Science operates on one foundational principle: cause and effect. Every outcome has a cause. Find the cause, you understand the outcome. Sigmund Freud, the Austrian neurologist widely considered the father of psychoanalysis, applied this directly to human psychology. Your past is the cause. Your behavior today is the effect. Trauma, childhood, early experience. These are the events that produced who you are. It is a logical framework, and for over a century, it dominated how we understand the human mind. Alfred Adler, Freud's contemporary and one of the founding figures of modern psychology, accepted the same principle. But he arrived at a completely different conclusion about what the cause actually is. Adler said the cause of your behavior is not your past. It is your current goal, which means everything you've blamed on your history, your patterns, your limitations, your choices, was never caused by it. You were using it. This video walks through 3 turning points. You are not your past. Life is not a competition. You were always enough. Each idea connects directly to the next. In that order, they form a complete framework for navigating life with courage. In psychology, there are 2 fundamentally different ways of explaining human behavior. The first is etiology, the study of causes. This is Freud's model. Your behavior today is caused by your past experiences. Trauma, childhood, and environment shaped you into who you are. You are, largely, the product of what happened to you. The second is teleology, the study of purpose and goals. This is Adler's model. Your behavior today is not caused by your past. It is directed by what you are trying to achieve or avoid right now. Your past doesn't explain you. You are using your past to justify where you currently are. Those 2 positions sound similar. They are not. Under Freud, you are the product of your history. Under Adler, you are the author of your present. And your history is one of the tools you're using to write it. And here is why this distinction matters beyond theory. If Freud is correct, if your past is the cause and your present is the effect, then change is impossible by definition. You cannot uncause yourself. You cannot undo what already happened. The logical endpoint of that model is that you are fixed, determined, a finished product of forces you never controlled. Adler rejected that conclusion entirely, not on optimistic grounds, on logical ones. If behavior serves a goal rather than a cause, then changing the goal changes the behavior. Change is not just possible, it is the direct implication of the framework. That question is the foundation of everything Adler built. This leads directly to one of Adler's most confronting positions. He argued that psychological trauma, as Freud defined it, a past event with the automatic power to shape present suffering, does not function the way we assume. To be precise, Adler does not deny that painful things happen. He denies that those events carry inherent meaning. What shapes your present is not the event itself. It is the meaning you assigned to it. And meaning is something you choose. The same experience, a difficult childhood, a public failure, a devastating loss, produces completely different people. Not because the event differed, because each person drew a different conclusion from it. A person who grew up with an absent parent might conclude, "I am unlovable." Another might conclude, "I only depend on myself." A third, "I will be the parent I never had." Same event. 3 different meanings, 3 different lives. Adler's position is not that your pain is invalid. It is that you have significantly more authorship over your story than you have been told. This is one of Adler's most controversial positions, and the one most people reject immediately. He argued that we do not experience emotions and then act. We select the emotion that best serves what we are trying to achieve, and then experience it. Emotions are not things that happen to us. They are things we reach for. Adler uses anger as the clearest example. When someone raises their voice in an argument, slams a table, shuts down, goes cold, the instinct is to read that as a loss of control. Adler says the opposite. The anger was manufactured precisely because it works. It makes others comply. It ends conversations before they become uncomfortable. It establishes dominance without requiring a rational argument. You do not lose your temper. You use your temper. But anger is only one example. Consider anxiety. Anxiety in the face of real danger is rational. It is adaptive. It has kept humans alive for millennia. But Adler observed a different kind of anxiety. The kind that arrives not when you are in danger, but when you are about to do something that matters. A new direction, a difficult conversation, a genuine attempt at change. In those moments, Adler would ask, what does this anxiety allow you to avoid? Because anxiety that appears precisely when growth becomes possible is not a warning. It is a tool. This is not about dismissing what you feel. Your emotions are real. The question Adler is asking is more precise than that. Who selected them? And what for? You did not arrive at this point in your life because of your past. You are here because right now, staying here is working for you. And you built yourself, carefully, deliberately, to make sure it keeps working. That is the most uncomfortable idea in Adlerian psychology. It is also the most liberating one. Seeking recognition feels natural. When someone approves of you, a compliment, an acknowledgement, validation from someone whose opinion matters, it produces a genuine sense of satisfaction. That feeling is real, but Adler observed something precise about it. It is always temporary, and it always requires renewal. The moment approval stops, so does the feeling. You cannot build a stable sense of self on something that requires constant external input to function. Adler's instruction is direct. Do not seek recognition from others. Not because their opinions are meaningless, but because organizing your life around obtaining them means you are never truly the one living it. The need for recognition doesn't appear from nowhere. Adler traced it to something universal: inferiority feelings. The sense, formed early in life, that you are in some way not enough. Every person alive feels this, without exception. You look at where you are. You look at where you want to be. You feel the gap. Adler said that feeling is not a problem. It is what moves you forward. The gap creates discomfort. The discomfort creates action. The action closes the gap. That is the healthy cycle. But the cycle can break in one of two ways. The first way is the inferiority complex. The gap stops feeling like a distance to close. It starts feeling like a fact about who you are. One is a gap. The other is a verdict. The person with an inferiority complex does not stop trying because they are lazy. They stop because they have decided, quietly, often unconsciously, that trying will only confirm what they already believe about themselves. The second way moves in the opposite direction. Some people cannot sit with inferiority feelings. Instead of collapsing under them, they perform above them. They build an exaggerated sense of superiority as a shield, always needing to be right. Putting others down before others can judge them. Needing to be the most impressive person in the room. This looks like confidence. It is not. One person shrinks, another person performs. Different behavior. Same root. Same unresolved feeling underneath. Neither strategy makes the feeling go away. It only changes the direction it travels. Adler identified two fundamental types of human relationship: vertical and horizontal. In a vertical relationship, there is always someone above and someone below, someone evaluating and someone being evaluated. Worth is constantly being measured against someone else's standard. This is the structure most people inhabit, with parents, employers, social circles, and strangers on the internet. It makes recognition seeking not just understandable, but inevitable. In a vertical world, approval from those above is the only currency that counts. The horizontal relationship is different, between equals. No ranking, no performance. Contribution replaces competition. Many people move through life treating it as a competition, often without realizing it. Measuring themselves against colleagues, friends, and strangers on the internet. Feeling behind when others advance. Feeling threatened when others succeed. Feeling relief, quietly, guiltily, when others fail. This is not a character flaw. It is the logical outcome of everything we have just covered. Vertical relationships rank you. The inferiority complex tells you that the ranking defines you. The superiority complex performs above it. Recognition-seeking chases validation from those ranked above. Every trap in this section assumes the same thing, that life is a competition with a leaderboard you need to climb. Adler disagreed. Someone will always earn more, know more, achieve more. Adler says that it is completely irrelevant to your own growth. Growth is not measured against other people. It is measured against who you were. Adler identified three illusions that keep people from living freely. The need to be special, the belief that life begins later, and the idea that your worth is something you have to prove. The first illusion Adler asks you to release is the need to be special, not the courage to be great, not the courage to overcome, the courage to be ordinary and to find that enough. This sounds simple. It is not. Because the belief underneath the need to be special is this: ordinary existence has no value. Being unremarkable means you failed. Being unnoticed means you don't count. That belief is what drives the performances Adler describes. Achievement performed for an audience. Suffering performed for sympathy. Both are strategies for justifying your existence to others and to yourself. Adler's argument is direct. The obsession with being special is not ambition. It is a symptom of the inferiority complex operating at its deepest level. The conclusion that your existence, as it is, requires justification. The courage to be normal means refusing that premise entirely. It does not mean stop growing. It does not mean stop contributing. It means doing those things without needing them to make you worthy. Working without needing recognition. Contributing without needing applause. Being present in your own life without requiring an audience to confirm it matters. The second illusion is about time. Specifically, the future version of yourself you've been waiting for before you begin living. Adler observed that one of the most common ways people avoid their life tasks, the three unavoidable responsibilities we face as social beings, work, friendship, and love, is by relocating their life to a future that has not yet arrived. I'll begin when I'm more confident, when I have more money, when things settle down, when I've figured myself out. His position is not a mindfulness prescription. It is a philosophical claim. The only place life actually happens is now. A future version of yourself cannot live your life. Only the present version can, with what they have, in the circumstances they are actually in. Adler is not asking you to believe you are ready. He is asking you to accept that you are here, and that here is enough to begin. The third illusion is the most fundamental one, the belief that your worth is something you have to earn. Functional value is real. Your skills, your output, your contribution to the people around you, these matter. But functional value is something you do. Existential value is something you are. You arrived in this world with a worth that preceded anything you have ever done. Before your first achievement, before your first failure, before anyone had the opportunity to approve or disapprove of you, producing, achieving, proving, compensating for a worth that was never actually in question. Adler's point is simple. You did not need to do any of that, not because effort doesn't matter, but because your worth was never attached to the outcome. You had it before you started. You have it when you fail. You have it when nobody is watching. That is what existential value means. You exist. That is enough. Everything Adler argued points inward. At first, your past is yours. Your emotions are yours. Your worth is yours. But Adler never intended that to be the destination. His actual measure of psychological health was not self-mastery. It was social interest, the degree to which a person's energy is directed outward, toward others, toward community, toward the question of how human beings as a whole can live better. The more a person develops, the larger their circle of concern grows. They stop asking what they can get. They start asking what they can contribute. They stop protecting themselves from the world. They start taking responsibility for a small part of it. That is what Adler called the socially useful life. Not selfless, not self-sacrificing, just genuinely engaged with other people, with the community, with something larger than personal gain. And like everything else in this video, it requires courage. The same courage Adler asked for at every step, small, quiet, directed outward, toward other people, toward something larger than yourself.